Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Anonymous. And in this channel, we talk about gang stalking, manipulation, and my experience with gang stalking. I have amazing news. That's the truth about gang stalking, guys. Gang stalking is everyone agreeing to do things that make no sense. And your mind is literally trying to make sense of everything. So it has to make up some crazy story, which is exactly why people think that they're feeling direct energy weapons. All of that, like, your mind is so confused because it doesn't know how to differentiate up from down. And I figured out a way to address it. So every time my mind tried to rationalize something that anyone else was doing, I literally pulled my mind away from that thought. Like, I had to refocus my mind. Also, they were actively trying to connect me. And by that, I mean that they typically just, I don't know, like, something connects me. They say certain words, do certain things, and make sounds. And my mind just starts, like, I don't know, like, it gets lost in trying to figure everything out. I feel like it is that they overwork your mind until it just finds some level of sense, and that's why it kind of keeps you hypnotized. But the moment I literally stopped trying to rationalize what they're doing, when I stopped paying attention, I began to feel free. Now, because now I have, like, my hair significantly longer, and I'm not sure if you guys remember that I bought earphones that do not cover your ears, that they are on by induction. Well, whenever I put those on, I stopped hearing the voices. I was right. And I think one of the reasons is because now it has one thing to focus on instead of focusing on everything else that's happening, like the sounds. Like yesterday, I was literally just listening to motivational podcasts the whole day at work, and I didn't realize that the voices actually, like, the voices that were out of my head, and by that I mean that there is auditory hallucinations that are, like, within your head, and some that you hear, air quote, that are outside of your head. Those were gone. And I was more coherent in the aspect of the hallucinations. Like, one of my coworkers, my coworkers do this thing where they go, "Efren," and then I turn around, and then they just like play dumb. But I have never turned around before, and I didn't turn around because I wasn't sure whose voice it was. But yesterday I knew it was Anthony Gass's. So as soon as he said my name, I looked back, and then everyone turned back around. Everyone, like, turned to the other way. And then I said, "What do you need?" And he said, "Oh, no one called you." And I said, "Yeah, I clearly heard you. Don't play around with me. Please do not do that ever again." And now I can say that with full assurance because I can clearly hear who that voice was coming from. Now, also, my work shirts have a front pocket, have two. So I put it right on my pocket, on my front pocket, with the camera pointing out. And gang stalkers, are not going to be as aggressive. They're not. And they weren't. But they still tried. They still tried being annoying. For example, when I was helping someone, right? And then he just kept doing question after question after question. And then I went to grab. He saw that I grabbed my bottle, or my water bottle, and when I began drinking it, he threw me another question. So I just ignored him until I was done drinking, and then I fixed my hair, and then I looked at him and said, "Sorry, did you say something?" You have to literally put them in their place. Another thing that another customer was doing was that he put other items as soon as I began scanning them. He handed me a $10 bill. Like, for me to hurry up, to scan everything and do everything. I didn't. I was scanning everything, taking my sweet time. And then I had a conversation with his mom, and he got tired of holding the money. So he just like put his hand down on the counter. Because of the experience that I have had with gangstalking, I know how to defend myself. I know how to not let them push me. And let me tell you, the fact that I have been disconnected for several days now, in addition, compared to what it is to be connected, the annoyance, the things that they do are nothing compared to being in my car and then, having a fucking shadow, run around my car, or hear voices, like it is absolutely nothing compared to being connected. So now the annoying things that they're doing, I can handle them with no problem. And so because I have long hair now, I can wear my earphones, and the fact that they don't cover the ears, no one can tell that I'm actually wearing earphones. So no one can tell that I'm wearing earphones. So the entire day at work, I was listening to motivational podcasts, and I had the gangstalkers under control. I had the gangstalkers under control, guys. For the first time ever, they did not know what to do. It's crazy. So now the voices, guys, I cannot hear them anymore. They're gone. The voices were because of the disorientation from the gangstalking. It has nothing to do with drugs, guys. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was the disorientation. And the funny thing is that it only took one day for those to start happening. And I literally just had to focus on one thing or listen to something consistent, such as like a podcast. Now, this is what you have to know, is that gangstalking is literally people that are doing things that confuse you. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's the only. That is the one thing that. That's it, guys. So, when I was wearing my phone on my pocket, on my front pocket, some gang stalkers didn't see it, and they were doing their gang stalking thing. However, I was not recording. And what's gonna happen is that I'm not gonna change that. And I'm referring to keeping the phone on my front pocket. And I am gonna be recording here and there. But they're never gonna know if I'm recording or not. So I'm just gonna behave like if nothing is happening. I'm never gonna appear to be excited from the recordings, nothing. So that they have no idea what's going on with me. So literally at work, everyone was nice to me yesterday. Everyone was nice to me. Everyone was cordial. Everyone was nice to me yesterday. For the first time ever, everyone was actually nice to me. So I am gonna get some actual recording from gang stalking activity. However, I must tell you right now that it's gonna very possibly look normal, because a lot of the things that happen with gang stalking are because of the timing. So they are supposed to appear like they're glitches, or they're supposed to throw you off. They're supposed to be weird. One thing that, well, I know I'm gonna get it on video. I know. It has to happen. So that's the way that I am keeping control of the gang stalkers from now on. It's where I'm gonna be just listening to something. I'm gonna keep my hair long, and I'm gonna just keep my phone here, because literally gang stalkers were like covering their faces, and that's it. Also, gang stalkers were, well, my coworkers were actually not doing things anymore. They were not doing any weird things. They were actually doing things like they were supposed to. They weren't doing anything out of place. They still tried, but the thing is that right now I am really unsure, because so it has been such a long time since people did like any type of normal behavior around me, that whenever that now, like if I'm at work and I'm just listening to the sounds that they're making, I cannot know why. I cannot visualize what they're doing with the sounds that they're making. Like I feel like I lost complete mapping of what's going on. Like if I hear like something, I do not know where it's coming from. Like I know that it's gonna be a couple of days before I can have that again at work, because my entire senses, all my senses at work are just like, all twisted. So yeah, for the first time ever, I have it under control. And it is because I learned this one thing, that gang stalkers are not doing anything in particular. Well, the customers, yeah, they're interrupting, they're just being annoying. But Gang stalkers in general, they're just doing random things that are weird. For example, one thing that they had that I saw yesterday was where I was like taking care of I was getting some parts, right? And when I opened the box, like I saw the customer walking in one direction, and then when I went to see the customer, no wait, when I went to the other counter, because I was helping the customer there, and then the customer was already there when I saw him like walking this way. So they're gonna be doing things where like they're like running around and stuff. And when you're connected, your mind is just gonna be recreating these things that they do. Um, and I also realized that um, that it was my head where I was like sitting down and then like I heard someone talking, but in reality it was not that person talking. It was my voice kind of making it appear as if that person was saying something. It was the strangest thing ever. Um, so now I'm actually gonna know where's up from down, who's talking and who isn't, because now those things are gone. Um, and that's all I needed. All I needed was to put a damn phone on my front pocket and have some type of earphone to keep my mind focused. Oh, and not focus on what gang stalkers are doing. Just focus on one thing. Completely ignore and not try to find logic in what gang stalkers are doing is the only way out, guys. Gang stalking does exist. And all these stories about crazy things that they're doing, about the cars, about all of that, happens because you're since everyone is doing the same thing but different, your mind is going to try to find logic in it. Your mind is going to try to find logic in it, and it will find it. And if it doesn't find it, it will make one. Gang stalking makes all the stories, let me tell you, make sense to the target. Because the brain is trying so hard to find logic in what's happening around it for its own safety. And let me tell you, when I didn't know what was happening, the first time that I encountered gang stalking, I was terrified. And when once I got to the belief that it was a thing against me, and it was that they were trying to make me believe that I was one thing, or things like that, or the colors, I felt safer because I feel like I was able to have to predict as most as I possibly could. Like I was able to actually feel safe because I had knowledge of what was going on. And that's why one whoever is living it is trying to find is always talking about this thing, and is consistently and continuously thinking about gang stalking because it's trying to formulate logic, and it's trying to find to make sense of it, so that next time if that person goes out into the world, they actually feel some sense of direction. That's why. And that's that's how it is. That's what gang stalking really is, guys. Is everyone doing things that are weird and that are confusing. That's it. The initial reaction to someone, or the initial reaction of my reaction in the beginning, was to get angry. When it was actually anger because, well, it appeared that they were doing something, but then they said that it was another. So that's one thing that I'm used to now. So when a customer says, "Oh no, I actually wanted this," I'm like, "Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood," and then I don't even look at the customer. Um, so, however, I am not antagonizing anyone, because at this point, I don't know if a customer is doing things to confuse me or is doing things because they genuinely made a mistake. And that's one of the confusion things that happen, is that you never know. So but the moment that you start assuming, and that you know that the mistake was purposeful, that's when your perception of everyone is changing, and you see everyone as your enemy. And after that happens, you lose any type of joy from being surrounded by people. You lose the joy in being alive. Anyways, I have to go to the gym now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have so much to tell you. Bye, guys.